All right.
Yep.
I think we're good. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Absolutely. Oh, we are not.
Joey's on.
Okay. It was not giving me any time. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Share.
Hey, Jen. Jen and Joey are on. Robert Schmidt. Are you going to make fried chicken with us, Robert?
Okay.
How's Minnesota? Chrissy P's on.
Hey, everyone. Fantastic. We're going to make some southern fried chicken. Not necessarily completely southern, though. We'll talk about that in a bit. Let's start with some wine.
Woohoo.
We have, we just got a shipment from our favorite winery, local winery. We are members of the Stone Tower, and it's in Leesburg, Virginia. I highly recommend going out there. It's a beautiful, beautiful winery, and they make some amazing wines.
Oh, I'm going to go through and reshare because I believe you shared it from the Making Food Fun page and not on your feed. So I'm going to fix that. But keep going. Who else is on? We're not cooking tonight, just here to see you guys. Aww.
That's okay. You can cook it later, because after you watch the show, you're going to want to cook this.
It's real good.
And it's really easy. You know, I talk to so many people that talk to me about how they're excited about me making fried chicken because, you know, they've never really attempted it at home on their own before. And, you know, and they really, who doesn't love fried chicken? Nice and crispy skin, nice and flavorful. So, you know, and we're going to talk different options and so forth that you can do to make it kind of your own. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And you'll realize how easy it is to make fried chicken. And you'll want to do it like every Sunday because, you know, that's like the Sunday afternoon thing, right? Picnic, fried chicken, corn on the cob. We talked about doing something else while the chicken was frying, but I was like, there's, you know, it's just like one of those where it takes like 12 to 14 minutes to fry the chicken. And it's not long enough to really do something else and multitask.
Chrissy P said speak up.
Yeah, it's a, so we're going to have some lag time where we can maybe chat. But we'll wait a little bit to get us started while some people join us. Am I talking loud enough now?
Let me know if that's better.
Do you hear me?
I didn't think I had it on mute, but let me know. Your mom says hello.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Lena.
Am I talking loud enough now?
Well, I don't know. Remember, there's a little bit of a delay, so I gotta wait and see what everybody says. Chris is gonna let us know.
Okay.
Yeah. Or anyone watching.
All right, so we'll kind of go through the recipe real quick.
Hey, Lisa
there's
Murphy.
a couple different elements to this that is going to be some important, and I'll give you some key tips to making your fried chicken successful and nice and crispy. But first things first is a marinade, or what people call a brine. And a brine can be anything that is it's in a liquid that consists of a salt enzyme, generally has herbs, and some kind of acid. In this case, we're doing a couple of different acids. We're using a malt vinegar, we're using a lemon juice, and we're using milk. Milk is considered an acid. Some people just do water, eggs, maybe some hot sauce. That's a really good southern way to do it. And then lots of some herbs and so forth. And salt.
My family always did buttermilk.
So we're making a buttermilk,
right?
In a sense,
yeah.
By adding lemon juice to milk, it's gonna coagulate a little bit and create like a buttermilk. So we're mixing. We're gonna start with kind of taking a recipe from the early 1800s, late 1700s. Fried chicken actually came from England and was brought over to America into Connecticut, I believe. Somebody can correct me on that. I think it was Connecticut or Massachusetts. I'm not quite sure. But somewhere around there is where it first started popping up in America.
Didn't start in Texas?
It didn't start in Texas. It started
on the East Coast,
on our upper East Coast, yes,
right.
In New England, because it came over from England, our mother country, right? So So the English brought it over, and in the settlers in New England started adapting it for what their own. And if you look at a recipe from the early 1800s, you'll see wine vinegar. And when they say wine vinegar in their recipes, they're actually referring to a malt vinegar in today's standard. So just so you know, if you're ever looking at that. Anyways, so that, we got some herbs, we're going to mix that together. We're going to soak that in generally for 4 hours to up to 24 hours. So we've already soaked some. I'm going to soak some more we'll make tomorrow morning. Yay!
Yay!
But
the neighbors will love us.
So we're going to walk you through the whole process. So I've got some chicken that we're gonna put in a marinade or in a brine, and brining is really is a great thing that you do the day before, whether it's chicken, pork, turkey, whole chickens if you're gonna roast them. Even like at Thanksgiving, if you're able to brine your turkey the day before you actually roast it, you're gonna get a really juicy, succulent turkey with a nice crispy skin. And what happens is the salt and the acid kind of tenderize and make their way into the meat. A lot of times when you put a rub on a chicken, you get a nice flavorful skin, but the chicken itself still tastes like chicken. So by brining it, you're actually drawing in those flavors into the meat, so you get some really like nice flavorful meat with chicken, turkey, pork tenderloins, and so forth. So it's a lot of fun. So we're going to marinate or to make our brine. It's going to be out of a milk today, and then we're going to set the chicken that we have aside, and I have some other chicken that we've got going on, and then we're going to dredge that in a nice spicy flour mix with a little bit of a southern twist to it to bring in the southern fried chicken element to this. So we're kind of mixing. I took a bunch of different recipes and kind of mixed it up a little bit and came up with an early American New England version, along mixing it with a little bit of the southern fried chicken version.
Hey Brandon, my brother and sister and our new niece.
Our new niece, yay!
She's so cute.
She's so adorable. She's like, what, 2 weeks, 1 week?
Not even, yeah, like 2 weeks old.
2 weeks old.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Right? I believe so, yeah.
All right, well, let's get started. So we got a little Chardonnay, because Chardonnay always goes with fried chicken.
Well, we got it from our little vineyard. It was our membership.
Stone Tower. Very nice. All right, so we're going to start, but we're going to take some. We're going to take a cup and a half of milk, because this is going to make about 3 to 4 pounds, 3 or 4 pounds of chicken bone in. Okay, which is going to feed about 4 people. What is 3 to 4 pounds? You got, if you had 3 or 4, we're using all dark meat. You can use. Get a whole chicken and have it cut up. You can actually, a lot of times in grocery stores, they'll have what they call fryer chicken. It's actually a whole chicken that's been cut up. So it'll have pieces, breast pieces, thigh pieces, leg pieces, and so forth. So it has the whole chicken already cut up for you.
I feel like unless you're doing tenders, like really just the drumstick and the thigh are just so good fried. I really do.
Yeah, well, so that's what we have.
Because you're doing it thinner with the breast.
We're using thigh and drumstick, and then we'll talk a little bit about breast as well. If you have the whole thing and you get the breast, cut the breast in half so you have 2 pieces, so they're not too big. So everything's nice, and then you got several pieces. Most of the time, you take a whole chicken and you cut it up into 8 pieces, and maybe one episode we'll just talk about how to break down a chicken or how to debone a turkey. Maybe when we get more into the fall time, we'll talk about that a little bit for Thanksgiving. Because there's nothing more fun at Thanksgiving than to actually have deboned that turkey before roasting it, roast it, and then when you get to the kitchen, get to the table, Thanksgiving dinner table, and it's time to carve the turkey, it's so much easier because you're not sitting there fighting with bones because you can just slice into it. It's so nice.
So then you say that turkey make a stock. It's the bones.
And then you save the bones to make stock. Absolutely, to make the gravy.
I don't know what you made us the other day, Mara, but the little bars with the marshmallows and chocolate, the little s'mores.
They were the s'mores bars.
They were so good.
Yes, they were like a brownie bar with the chocolate and the marshmallow toasted on top.
They were so good.
They were delicious. They were delicious. All right, so we got 1.5 cups of milk. Let's get back to test. 1.5 cups of milk, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and 1.5 teaspoons of a malt vinegar. And we're just going to give that a little bit of a mix, and we're going to set that aside for about 5 minutes and let the lemon juice, the acid of that lemon juice kind of really thicken up that milk a little bit, and that's what's going to create our buttermilk. Or you can just buy buttermilk, but I actually like making it this way because with the malt vinegar in there, you get just a more deeper, richer flavor, which is, and it's also like that early 1800s, early American, British version. So, meanwhile, while that is sitting there, we're going to put together our spice herb mixture, and with that, it's going to be
hey, Melinda.
2 teaspoons of a bunch of stuff. So we got 2 teaspoons of some garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of some onion powder, 2 teaspoons of coriander, okay? And you can kind of play it, mix and match, and have some other things. Like some people, instead of using coriander, use like cumin. I've seen a recipe where they actually use rosemary. I was actually tempted to do that.
It's your least favorite herb. You just despise
I love rosemary. I love rosemary.
Yes, you do.
And then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of red chili powder. If you want that more southern chicken style, where it's got a bite to the skin when you bite into the crispy skin, and you want that spicy bite, you can add more chili powder if you'd like. You can also add some hot sauce into this milk.
Or like sriracha or whatever, right? Tabasco.
Absolutely. Sriracha, Cholula, Frank's hot sauce, whatever.
I'm not trying to throw you in the spot, but the reason why I asked when we were doing the recipe about the milk situation, if it was whole milk, because when you're using a buttermilk, it is a full fat, right? So if you're trying to create a buttermilk, I mean, is skim milk going to give you the same effect? Like, that's just a question I had, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, so, no, absolutely. So the less fat you have, the less buttermilky, curly it'll be. But it doesn't take away from the brine part.
Okay.
Okay, because you still have the acid enzymes in the milk that's
doing what it needs to do.
Do what it needs to do.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily need to have the fat, but the fat is always a welcome added texture.
So maybe don't do like a lactate, where the lactose has been removed, or does, you know what I mean, where they take the lactic acid out.
Yes, you don't want that because you want the acid in the milk.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Keep going. Sorry.
If you are lactose intolerant,
yeah,
don't use milk. You're going to want to just scramble a couple of eggs,
like you said before,
in some room temperature water.
Okay.
And then add your little lemon juice, malt vinegar.
Because the protein of the egg will help give you the same effect.
And then you're going to add the same herbs, lots of salt and so forth, and that's going to give you that same acid and so forth. So cool. You don't have to have milk.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right. So so what do we have? We have onion powder, garlic powder, coriander in here so far, and chili powder, right? We're also going to add in 2 tablespoons, not 2 teaspoons, but 2 tablespoons of black pepper that I've ground fresh in a spice grinder. I like fresh ground pepper better than I like pre-ground pepper from the store because it still has so much robust peppery flavor when you grind it fresh. So I always have a little spice grinder, or actually it's an old coffee grinder that I no longer use it for coffee. I actually use it.
Your mom got it for you for Christmas.
That's a coffee grinder, yeah.
Yeah, but
so you can also get an old-fashioned coffee grinder like this and put your peppercorns in there, and that's always fun too. And then we're also going to add in 4 tablespoons of kosher salt. Or you can use a sea salt or regular iodized salt if you'd like. I like kosher salt in something like this. It's not quite as granulated or heavy as sea salt.
Hey, Robbie.
A little bit more flavor. Sea salt is very delicate, but has a nice texture to it, which I love using sea salt. But in this case, we're using a kosher salt. All right. We're going to give that a little bit of a mix up.
But not sea salt for baking like I did that one time where I made a cake and I used sea salt.
No.
It did not dissolve.
Yeah, it doesn't dissolve.
No.
You still have chunks of flavor, chunks of salt in there. So you're going to want an iodized salt or something that will break down a little bit.
We still ate it, don't worry.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Still tasted wonderful.
Especially with that homemade
and then
buttermilk.
we're going to put in some fresh oregano. If you were using dry oregano, you're going to actually do 4 teaspoons of dried oregano. In this case, we're using 3 tablespoons of fresh oregano. Why less dried? Because of the fact that dried, it's already kind of shrunk down, so it goes longer, goes further, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Good. When you have a leafy herb like this, you can just pull it backwards down the stem, and the leaves will come right off.
Like thyme.
Like thyme, like rosemary, oregano, all of them. Yeah. So we're going to bunch that together, and then we're going to give that a nice fine
Brian.
shot. We're going to add this into our spice mixture. All right. Now we're going to take about half of this. We're going to save it for later for dredging our flour. We're going to add that spice mix, half the spice mixture into our flour, and half of it is going to go into our marinade. All right. So we're going to take a nice half of it for later, and then so we'll save that. Perfect. And then the other half we're going to season our chicken with. Like I said, I've already taken about 2 pounds of chicken and already marinated it. So I have another about a pound here that I'm going to do now so that you can see the process. Because normally you're going to want to split this into 2. So this isn't a fully live segment because of the fact that you're going to have to let this sit for at least 4 hours. So if you're watching the show, do this today, and then tomorrow you'll have some fried chicken. You can do it sooner. It's just that you're not going to get quite the effect of the brine. You'll still get a lot of flavor, and it'll still be quite delicious if you do it right away.
We do it almost a whole night, or almost a whole
We do
day.
it. Yeah, we do a full 24 hours.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take chicken and I'm going to toss it in a big 1-gallon plastic bag, and then I'm going to take my herbs and I'm going to put in there.
It's shake and bake.
It's shake and bake.
And I'm Dale.
You're going to want to coat the chicken separate. Some recipes will have you adding herbs and stuff right into the liquid. I don't necessarily like doing that. I like making sure that the chicken has a good coat on it separately, so that every piece is got a nice separate coating before you add the liquid. So that way it doesn't clump up on you and get like a lot of seasoning over here but none over there. So now once the chicken is evenly coated, we're going to go ahead and add milk. We're going to seal up this bag and we're going to store this until tomorrow.
I also noticed the last 2 times now that we did the test run and then we brined it for today, when you do it that way, the seasoning actually does still stay onto the chicken that way as well. So yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, you heard that Texas accent, did you, Melinda? I don't know where that came from.
All right. So we've got it sealed in a Ziploc bag that we're going to put in for tomorrow. Meanwhile, back at the farm, I have some that I've already done.
It only comes out when I talk to you guys. I don't understand.
All right. Give our hands a good wash. Seeing as how we've been handling some raw chicken, we don't want anything to happen. Meanwhile, we're also going to, even though I don't think the raw chicken touched this, I'm not going to chance it. So we're going to pull out a new board. All right, fantastic. With this, we're going to take and make our flour dredge that we're going to make. While we're doing that, we're actually going to turn on our our olive oil, our oil, about medium heat. And we're going to want it to be at about 300 to 350, right?
Top.
All right, then we're going to get our little thermometer so we can make sure we're keeping an eye on the temperature of the oil. Frying it at too high of a temperature, it's going to get really dark on the outside before you're done in the middle. Frying it too low of a temperature, the chicken will actually absorb too much oil and it'll just be kind of soggy, but it'll never really get nice and crispy. So that's why we say between 300 and 350. We're actually, what we're going to do is we're going to take about 2 cups of oil and put it in our saute pan. You don't need to immerse it completely. You can use a deep fryer, you can use a stock pot and put oil and deep fry it, but we're actually going to sear one side and then flip it and sear the other side. I feel like you get better control over the texture and how much oil hits it and how long it's in that oil. By deep frying it, you got it in that oil, that all immersed completely in the oil the whole time, and it just tends out to get really dark and black, darker brown. And I want a nice lighter color, lighter brown color, and I want a nice crisp on it. So I want it to stay in long enough to get nice and crispy, but not too long that it gets too brown, right? So that's why I like a more shallow pan, and I can control that better. So meanwhile, we're gonna start heating that up. We're about 148 right now. And we're gonna mix our flour dredge that we're gonna dredge the chicken through, right? So with that, we have 1.5 cups flour. And again, this is for about three pounds of chicken. And we're right now doing about 2 pounds. We're gonna save some of this flour mixture for tomorrow morning when we make tomorrow's morning. And then a full cup of cornstarch. To me, you don't have to have cornstarch. You'll see lots of recipes that don't use it. I like cornstarch because, like a tempura, it makes it really light, thin, yet really crispy, and gives it lots of texture. That's how you make a tempura, is with cornstarch. And so this is kind of like, this is a flour and you're lightening it up with the cornstarch, but you can still get a lot of that crispy, a lot of that texture. So this has got 1.5 cups flour, 1 cup cornstarch. We're gonna add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, right? And then the rest of our herb mixture from before, right? So it's got onion powder, chili powder, garlic powder, coriander, salt, and pepper. Yes?
Does gluten-free work for this? They're not gluten-free, Robert and Christopher, but Christopher's sister is. So if you're doing the cornstarch, you're still getting that crispy.
Yeah, you can do 100% cornstarch. I would maybe find a gluten-free flour that you would put in with it.
Well, that's what he said. Would that work?
Like a rice flour?
Like a gluten-free flour. Would that work in lieu of doing all-purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could go heavier with the cornstarch. You still get a nice, it'll just be thinner, the crisp.
Yeah.
It will be thinner, but still really crispy. And then, yeah, you can use like a rice flour. That would work really well, I think. If you want to go truly southern, you can actually do a corn flour and some more chili powder, but that gives it a
real
dense,
thick, yeah,
real dense crisp.
It's a little aggressive for me. I like just flour, yeah. Melinda said, "Yum, girl. We had this yesterday. It's so good."
All right, we're gonna unseal that. We're at about 240 right now, so we're gonna keep waiting. Any other questions so far?
Yeah, does anybody have any questions? We don't have Carolyn Cooper with us today because she is with her nieces.
And they didn't think it would be a good idea, and I understand, it wouldn't be a good idea to
fry chicken with children running around. Right. In real time. I think, trying to keep up.
Trying to keep up. You'll notice that this isn't near as splattery and messy as one would think in their head that this will be. So there's an initial little bit of
Well, I grabbed your splatter guard before this, and you were like, "Oh no, it's fine."
It's fine. Yeah. So it really doesn't do too bad. If you are frying like an oven fried chicken or something, yes.
Mara asks, "Do you think it would work with tofu?" Let's see, why not, right? I mean, you wouldn't brine it though, would you? Sorry.
You wouldn't brine a tofu, no. I don't think you would brine a tofu. Well, you can brine tofu. I don't work with tofu very much, so I'm not the best person to ask for that about that. I'm sorry, Mara. You might know more about tofu than I do, but I know you can coat it. Tofu, because it's such a delicate piece of.
Well, I guess if you get the hard tofu instead of the soft.
Yeah, you're gonna get like that block of tofu.
Yeah.
Right. You'll cut that, and you can roll it in some like.
Just using the dredge that
corn starch, a little rice flour,
and your seasonings that you use for the chicken.
Regular flour.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
I don't see why not.
Cool.
If you were oven frying chicken, you wouldn't necessarily need to brine it, but I would necessarily recommend make sure you're always, and this is true when you're frying chicken with, in general, to really dry the chicken with paper towel. Of all of its natural juices that are on the outside of that chicken, because when you coat it with any kind of herbs or flour, you want a nice even coating. And when you don't, a lot of people make the mistake of not patting the chicken dry first. In this case, we actually have a wet chicken that we're putting in there, so it's a totally different story. But that's one tip, helpful tip. If you're just kind of roll lightly some flour to give a nice crisp onto the skin. And you're going to just pan sear or oven fry your chicken. I
think it also brings up a very interesting, hey Kelsey Jan, I think it also brings up a very interesting topic of conversation where some people that I've known in my life wash their chicken, and it's like, don't wash it, just put it on a paper towel and just pat it dry.
Washing chicken doesn't really do anything for the chicken. It's not like you're washing the salmonella off of it.
Right, it's a raw chicken.
Chicken has salmonella whether you wash it or not.
You just want to cook it.
So, but you do want it dry. You can rinse it off if it makes you feel more comfortable.
Well, I think it's the same with beef too, or anything like, especially if you're gonna like fry it or grill it. Pat it dry.
Pat it dry. Yeah. And put a little salt on it. It helps bring out some of its natural juices from the inside. Ages it. Set it aside for at least an hour or so before you actually grill.
Which is another thing we'll probably talk about as time goes on, is about your your new
reverse,
thing with
reverse
searing.
Reverse searing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We'll talk
and
about
the salt aging that you discovered.
A reverse sear one of these days. That'll be fun. All right.
Where are we at temperature wise?
We're at 348, 349. So while that's right around 350, so we'll turn that down just a little bit so we can
keep it
regulated. Right at 350. We're gonna have two sets of tongs. One that we're gonna dip into the liquid, and one we're gonna take from the flour and put into the fry. Right. So.
Oh, that's smart. So then you're not getting splattered that way from all that moisture.
Yeah. So let it drip off nicely. When you take it out of the milk, just make sure it kind of drips. And then you put it in your flour. And we're gonna like roll it in the flour nicely. There we go. And then we're gonna take that and there you go. Look at that, see? Not too bad. The other thing you don't want to do is overcrowd your pan. So if you want to use two pans because you have a big family to work with or anything like that, go ahead and use two pans. Even if a deep fryer, you don't want to overcrowd a deep fryer either, because you want a lot of oil, to completely be around the chicken and not the chicken touching each other.
And to give yourself the room for flipping, right?
And to give yourself room for flipping.
See, not always just a hat rack.
Not always just a hat rack. Oh, we're gonna need. I need about 12 to 14 minutes. Actually, what I need is about 4 or 6 to 7 minutes. Okay. I usually start with skin side down. I don't know why. Just something I like to do.
So from now, I'm starting it for 6 minutes?
Yep.
Is that cool? Okay. Okay. Kelsey, is Jack watching?
Jack's gonna be mommy's new little chef.
Right.
All right. So we're gonna put this last piece in. There we go. We're still at 303. So once we put the chicken in, it drops down.
Because it's cold.
Why
Right?
I like to start at 350, but I like to keep it at about 325 personally. I guess I have a timer on here, don't I?
Oh, I've got you though. It's all right.
Okay. I don't know how that works. I've never actually.
But then we're also keeping the food thermometer there too for the chicken thighs later, right? To just check our temp on the.
Yeah, well,
They cook a little differently than the drumsticks, right? Obviously, there's more.
well, yes, we'll temperature check the inner temperature to make sure that we are completely done. Because the last thing you want to do is serve raw chicken. All right, so with if you have dark meat, it takes about 12 to 14 minutes.
Hey, Miss
so
Lee.
about 6 to 7 minutes each side. Or if you're just having it in a deep fryer, you want a good 12 to 14 minutes in the deep fryer. You'll know because all of a sudden the bubbling will slow way down and the chicken will float to the top if you are using a deep fryer. Otherwise with this, it really is just keeping an eye on the temperature. So no overcrowding. A deep fryer isn't necessary. Dry your chicken if you're not using a brine. Those are some really key tips. And then dark meat, 12 to 14 minutes. White meat, less time, 9 to 10 minutes. If you do it much longer, you're going to have really dried out meat. So 9 to 10 minutes on white meat, like your breast pieces and so forth. And your dark meat, the thighs, the drumsticks, you're going to want 12 to 14 minutes.
Robert asks, would you ever use boneless chicken in this? I probably wouldn't, but could you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. In fact, I was going through some recipes, and there was one where it was just chicken bits, and they just chicken bits.
Oh, like little mini bites, yeah.
Mini bites for a party.
Popcorn chicken kind of things.
Yeah, and they took a chicken breast and they cut it up into cubes.
But especially for the breast meat, that's good, right? Because then it's smaller pieces, it's cooking faster.
Yep. Absolutely. Where are we at on time?
You've got 3 minutes and 11 seconds.
So we got another 3 minutes.
Yeah.
On just this side alone.
Now, we're just teaching today how to do fried chicken. So, as side dishes, what would you do as a side? Being summertime, where would you go?
Potato salad.
Yeah.
All day. Corn on the cob.
Yellow potato salad? White potato salad? A little bit of both?
What do you mean?
Like a mustard based? A mayo based?
Yes. You always put mustard in your mayonnaise.
Not everyone puts mustard.
You should put mustard
Well,
and
yes.
a little bit of sugar in your mayonnaise when making potato salad. And salt.
Oh yeah. And fresh pepper, right?
Pepper, celery, onions. Yeah.
Some grilled corn like we got from Mara last week. That was so good.
It was so good.
It was so good we went and bought our own this weekend.
So we grilled it on the grill.
Oh yeah, explain that or teach that
so
secret. That was good.
We soaked it. You soak the corn in its husk and everything. Don't dehusk it. Soak it in water for a good 3 to 4 hours. Let it really just soak up that water. You can even just set it in overnight if you know you're going to be grilling off some chicken. Put it right in a campfire if you want to. Put it right down in the charcoals. Or you can just set it on top of your grill. What will happen is the outside will dry up and start burning off, which is fine. But the steam in all that husk will actually cook the chicken really well, and you still get that smoky smoky grill flavor from all the smoke. Yes.
Robert said German hot potato salad. Absolutely, because we did a farmer's market hot potato salad.
Farmer's market hot potato
that was
salad
so good.
time. Yeah.
Chrissy P said I don't, and you had it. So he doesn't put mustard in his potato salad, and you ate it.
I did eat it.
Yep.
I'll eat it.
And your mom says radishes in potato salad.
Yes.
Because then you get that peppery...
Nice peppery bite of the radish. That's always fun.
Oh, Mara just pops it in the microwave for 4 to 5 minutes.
Oh, the microwave.
Corn.
Yep. Yeah, that always hey. Corn's good in many, many ways. You just need to put lots of butter on it.
Lots of butter.
Butter, salt, and pepper.
You got 50 seconds left on the...
50 seconds?
Yeah.
All right. And that gives us what? That was 6 minutes?
That was 6 minutes, yeah.
All right.
But I started it a little past when you asked me to, so. And loved it. Yes, we did, Chris. Also, that chicken you made was really good, too. He did the chicken cutlets.
Yes, that was good.
Really good. 25 seconds. Macaroni salad.
Yes, that's
some sort of a pasta salad.
That's a very upstate New York thing, macaroni salad.
Hey, Jason. Jason Schul's on.
Hey, Jason.
And time's up.
Or what was that? What were we watching? We were watching a Midwest show, Girl Meets Farm.
Yeah, on Food Network.
I'm from Minnesota, and those of you watching that are from the Midwest, from Minnesota, some of my relatives, Nancy, if you're watching, my mom, my sister, I have never heard of this. So you tell me if you have. It was called a cookie salad.
The cookie salad. I don't remember the cookie salad. Remind me. Oh, I don't remember that one.
She took cookies and chopped them up and put them in like a whipped cream with something.
Oh man.
It's a cookie, and they served this like a salad.
Oh, you're right. Oh yeah. Wasn't it for their anniversary or something?
Yes.
It was like their
She made a hot dish and cookie salad.
Well, yeah, she made the tater tot hot dish.
Tater tot hot dish, of course. That I've heard of. I've had many times.
6 more minutes.
In many of church basement parties, but church basement potlucks. But never have I ever had a cookie salad.
Hey, Diana. So Melinda says,
oh, it was a pudding. It was like.
Yes, that's what it was. It was a pudding. Yes.
With wafer cookies that she had made that had drizzled chocolate on it, and then she put something else in it.
Because she didn't dip the bottom of it. She was almost making like a Samoa, but it wasn't a Samoa.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Melinda said, "This is the first time I've seen y'all do this live. Are you guys planning on doing this often?" You're sweet. We've been doing this since the pandemic actually started. Yes, because we've been unemployed.
This is like our 24th episode?
Oh gosh, no, it's not been, we're not on that
18?
many episodes. We're probably on 17, 18. Yeah, it's not that, yeah.
Because the last one was 18.
Yeah, because the last few episodes we started doing every 2
weeks.
Week. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did take like 3 weeks off on one, so, like 2.5, when it kind of when we moved to Sunday.
Where am I at that time?
I already said it, 5 minutes.
Okay.
So yes, we are now doing them every other Sunday. So Brian usually gives the recipe and ingredients and supplies needed like 4 to 5 days before, so then that way you can go grocery shopping if you want to do it live with us. Or then you at least know what we're doing.
Once Mark gets it all caught up, episodes will be online on YouTube channel, Making Food Fun.
I'm 2 episodes behind. They're on our Facebook page. No, 2. This will be the 3rd.
But on Facebook, you have to like search through everything in order to find them.
That's true. Well, you just go to videos. They're right there. Okay. But yes, I have dropped the ball. I need to. I've been so busy.
On our YouTube channel.
I've been so busy.
My favorite one actually is my birthday. I think it's episode 3. Mark does the cooking.
It takes me 7 hours to chop an onion.
But I stand right beside him and I guide him the whole way.
And judges
no worries.
The entire time.
I do not judge.
Yeah, a little bit. You guided. You helped.
I observe and make critical comments.
Yep.
I do not judge. No judgment.
Chrissy B says we need background music. Unfortunately, with copyrights, they would probably shut us down.
Yes.
Because we do like test runs and stuff to just make sure that the camera's right, like half an hour before we start filming. And there have been times where I have the music on and it stops playing it. So.
And the other thing is what you can do when you could be alone or whatever. Like yesterday when I made this yesterday for our picnic at the winery, and while it was frying and I have all this 12 minutes of fry time, you do some little Zumba class You know, just put some music on and just have a little class. Yeah, like that. And you just like, it's like a weight loss. So you just exercise before eating the fat. It's like makes it healthy, makes it okay.
Is that it?
That's
oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah. It's making food fun. See what I did there?
See what you did there?
No. I'm here all week.
Scott Doheny says bacon ranch potato salad. Oh, that sounds really good. Oh, Robert says it's a Snickers salad. It wasn't Snickers though. It was like a chocolate. It was like a chocolate cookie, like a shortbread cookie.
She was
yeah.
That were dipped in chocolate.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
A Snickers. I could see the Snickers salad too.
Yes, Scott. It was like a Keebler fudge stripe cookie, but she didn't dip the bottom of it.
She only striped.
Striped the top.
Because she thought it was too fussy to.
She was like,
dip the bottom.
nobody has time for that.
Whatever. Ain't nobody got time for
Chrissy
that.
P says diabetes in a dish, which is 100% true.
100% sure. Like, but I'm serious. I'm telling you right now.
Yay!
Being from the Midwest, I have never heard of this salad. Never
Hey, and Red Miles.
Now, ambrosia salad with the
marshmallows.
The marshmallows, and you use the fruit cocktail,
yeah.
which has the candied cherries,
I
the
can't
pineapple, and the whatever, and you mix that into whipped cream.
Never had it. Never gonna do it. No.
Oh yeah, no. You know, I never really appreciated this, especially as a kid. It's a texture thing.
Right. Your mom also said, which is true, we've already wished her, but it's Nancy's birthday today. So happy birthday, Nancy.
Yes.
I don't think she's on. I haven't seen her, but
on.
I think she's still getting settled in the new home, in the new location.
Yes.
Yeah. Barbara actually posted kind of a montage of memes for her birthday. Right. Well, no, today too, but the memes were today, and one of them was a picture of like just hair on a lawn chair, and it was like, moved to Arizona, they said.
Nice.
I thought that was funny. But yes, we sent birthday love already. And it seems like Kara's had an active day. Cleaned the apartment, took the son to the water, spent the day out on the...
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I know, it looks fun. We did that yesterday. We went with Brendan, Joe, and Joey, and we went to this winery up in Pennsylvania. Like on the Delaware-Pennsylvania border, right? Well, we had to drive through... I guess you always have to drive through.
We drive through just the edge of Delaware, and right across the border of Delaware, literally not even a mile in past the border of Delaware, there's a winery there called Penn's Hill?
I think so. Yes.
Anyways, nice winery. And Brenda and her husband Joe are...
our nephew Joey.
And Joey were there.
They had everyone like...
They're members of that
yeah.
winery.
They had everyone like socially distanced. They had some live music. It was really
did a
nice.
really nice job just...
They did.
Using the whole yard and just...
And time's up.
Okay. So, I've got... This one is good to go. The other thing is...
Oh yeah, this is a big tip.
One of the keys to frying chicken, when you take it out, don't put it on paper towels, because when it sits against that paper towel, it just collects that moisture and it softens up the exterior of chicken. And oh good, I'm at 180 on the inside, so we're good there.
Because with chicken, you want what? 165 is your goal?
No, 172 to 175.
Thank you.
Looks like my drumsticks need a little bit more time.
Look at the brown on that first one you brought down. That's gorgeous. Now, being from the South, what is your... Well, I think you're gonna question me on this anyway, but your opinions on Crisco. I don't even think they make Crisco anymore, right? Didn't you say you don't think they even make it anymore?
I don't think they make Crisco anymore. They shouldn't.
Does anyone know?
I think they do. And
like
no
a shortening.
Please don't sue me, Crisco, for saying this. As the ketchup company shouldn't sue me for all the ketchup companies.
Not believing in ketchup.
For not believing in ketchup. I don't believe in ketchup. Yeah, we're at 168, so we're almost there. So we'll just leave these in there for a little bit longer. Crisco, years ago, I know they used to melt down the Crisco to fry it in Crisco.
Right.
Crisco, if I'm not mistaken, is actually a synthetic product.
It's a vegetable shortening. It's meant to be lard, but it's not lard. It's a vegetable-based
vegetable shortening.
Yeah.
But I thought they didn't have like omega or whatever that is, or no, that.
You're thinking olestra, but no, it
doesn't have olestra.
No olestra.
Okay.
No. Those were those chips called Wow that they made in the early '90s. But yeah. Oh, your mom says they still make it, so there you go.
They still make it. All right. All right. So that's at 175. Perfect.
But also, I think, okay, so with the chicken, it not quite being at the temperature, really gauging your oil, you were able to still cook it and not end up burning it. And you know what I mean? Like keeping an eye on that, on the oil itself.
Yeah, keeping an eye on the oil temperature, that it doesn't keep going up.
Yeah.
Keeping it right about, because it dropped there for a little bit, it did drop below 300.
Because you put that cold chicken in, right?
Yeah, and I needed to up it a little bit, which is why it took a little bit more than 12 to 14 minutes. But normally 12 to 14 minutes, as long as you keep your temperature right around 350. Which is why maybe a deep fryer sometimes for some people is a little bit better, because it helps
regulate right?
the temperature.
So I guess the question also too is we obviously have a food thermometer, which is a good investment. It wasn't expensive.
No, they're not expensive.
You know, we bought it when we made homemade yogurt. That was the reason why we bought it, because we had to culture the milk and everything. And that's how that came to be for us. But I think it was like under $10. I think it wasn't very expensive.
It was like $9. It was like $9.50 or something.
Yeah. So then I guess some people would have like a meat thermometer, like a turkey thermometer or something that you could use, or obviously,
there's all sorts of different thermometers out there. If you have a deep fryer pan, they'll have like those candy thermometers or something.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But I highly recommend one of these type thermometers because of they're so useful. Because actually, if you are cooking Thanksgiving dinner, you can put this right into the turkey, and this can sit out here, and this can actually be inside the oven the whole time, and you never have to like sit there and test it. You can just poke this right into the turkey.
Yeah, because it's covered, right? Yeah. So
this has got an oven safe coating on it, so it could just be right in the oven, and then this can sit next to the oven. You can just keep an eye on your turkey, make sure that the temperature is just right. So I do recommend those. Roast, same thing, beef roast, stuff like that. That's why a thermometer like that is so nice. And again, like you saw here, I could just like let it sit in the pan the whole time and not have to worry about it.
Well, especially if you're doing like a crock pot thing, you can still put the lid down. Yep. You're getting a good seal on it, and then you've got a gauge on it. So cool.
Yeah. So there it is. We'll let that cool. And the other important thing to do is actually let it rest. Let it rest for a good 10-15 minutes. It's still going to be very, very warm when you go to eat it. Don't be afraid like, oh, I'm going to have cold chicken now when I eat. No, you want to let it rest, because now it's some of those juices are actually starting to really come back to a proper temperature, and as soon as you cut it, it won't just spill out. It'll actually hold together as long as you let it rest. So that's the same thing with steaks, roasts, tenderloins, pork tenderloin. Once you take it out of an oven or take it off the grill, let it rest on a pan for a good 10 minutes before you ever even put a knife to it, because it'll help lock in those juices and keep the juices there. So that's fantastic. We're going to have some wonderful grilled fried chicken tonight.
Maybe grill some corn or something, or...
No, I think we're just going to toss a little mixed green salad.
Oh yeah, do a little salad. Nice.
And make it kind of healthy.
Mara, we are drinking from our favorite winery in Leesburg, Stone
Tower.
Tower.
I highly recommend it. Beautiful winery if you ever have a chance to get out there. It's in Leesburg. It's about a 45 minute drive from here.
On a nice Saturday.
And it's a nice day trip because they have beautiful hillsides, lots of picnic tables and patio spaces, all sorts of on different levels and different places. You can watch the sunset in the evening. They did just a beautiful job creating that winery. And
like many wineries through this process, they really did wait until they had everything in place, and you do have to call and make an appointment. So if you want to go for a tasting or to go out there, because of the fact that they can only take because just like the winery we went to yesterday, they'll only take so many people because they have to be aware of that. So. And we're not Chardonnay fans, but This Chardonnay is amazing, actually.
Yeah, it's stainless steel casted, so it's not really oaky, which I like. Nice and crisp, and it's got a crispness to it. So that typical Chardonnay, apple flavor to it. So it's nice. All right.
Any questions? Any last comments? Because we actually did pretty good on time, so we got like a minute or two if you want to field any more.
No, I want to eat chicken.
Well, but we have to let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes per the chef.
Do you want me to make a salad right now?
We can make this salad in a minute.
All right.
All right, guys. I guess Brian will spend the next week or so kind of thinking about
it's delicious.
where we're going to go to next in our Taste of Summer, I think.
I think we should do a grill episode. I think we're going to grill on the grill.
Okay. We have to kind of
Figure out how
permit
to do
that
that.
with the motorcycles.
That's fine. So we'll have to make a pause for when the motorcycles go by or when the airplanes go by.
You know, summertime. It is
It's
what it is.
summertime.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we'll start thinking about
We
grilling.
can't have a summer cooking sessions, and this is our third cook.
Well, it's
summer.
flavors of summer, so.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. But you can't have flavors of summer without including the grill.
Well, how about we take a poll? How about anybody that's listening or watches later and has any comments on if we do a grill episode?
If you'll let me
how
go to
you
the
feel
store and
about
buy a griddle for my stovetop, we could do a grilling on the stove inside. Yeah? No? Maybe?
it. Oh, it looks like Mara's cool for grill. Oh, make ice cream.
That's very easy. We'll make ice cream and we'll grill.
My little ice cream maker isn't that great though.
Mark
so.
will do it. It's awesome. Your little ice cream maker? I love your little ice cream maker.
It's cute, but it still has to freeze after it mixes it together and.
That's most ice cream makers.
Oh, not the one I had growing up as a kid. It was that big one
but
that had a trough that like.
took how long to
It did. This one only you
Yeah.
set for like 45 minutes or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same process.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll make ice cream.
We'll talk about
and
this.
we'll grill. Mark will start the segment. I will do most of the segment, and then he will wrap it up with how to make ice cream.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So
It'll be lots of fun. Talk about making food fun. That would be fun. Let's do it.
all right, so cheers to the all-American fried chicken.
Fried chicken, nice and crispy. I love that.
All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes. See you too.
Bye.